How's it going, guys? Welcome back to log number 2. Um, just want to start this video out with giving you guys an update on my analog note taking and my merging it with Obsidian. Um, so basically, I've been taking this little notebook around and carrying it around in my pocket, and just taking random notes throughout the day, stuff like that. I think it's really useful. It has its pros and cons, I guess, is what I would say. It's kind of useful when it comes to being able to write things down that I would have normally forgotten. And yeah, I feel like that's like its main pro. Um, I'm able to write things down that I'm thinking in that moment and really elaborate it more on it down the line and kind of be more substantial with it when I'm writing in this notebook. So later on when I review it, I kind of have a better overview of that idea instead of having like a vague idea or forgetting it completely like I normally would. Um, but I also kind of feel like it's been taking away my Obsidian time. Before Obsidian was like the main part of my workflow. Now the analog note taking is the main part of my workflow. And I kind of would prefer to have the Obsidian be my main note taking because um, I don't know if you guys have seen my Obsidian graph, but it's basically like my source of truth. Like I have all my information stored on there, and it's like way easier to look up like a certain thing because there's things like file search. There's categorized in areas. I have keyword search, tag searching, area searching, stuff like that. So it's way easier to search for stuff in my Obsidian Vault than it is to kind of like sift through pages on this. But um, but I feel like also like it's also kind of like a skill issue. Like I feel like I just need to get used to it and integrate it better because at the end of the day, when I'm transcribing what I've written here into my Obsidian Vault, I'm kind of rewriting it. So like it's a good way for me to internalize kind of what I've written, if that makes sense. So yeah, but overall, this has been a plus. Um, but who would have thought that just like working out a muscle or practicing a sport, reading and writing every day has substantially improved my writing and my vocabulary. Just like I said in my last log that I wanted to work on my vocabulary, my writing, or my vernacular. It's a cool word that I've learned. Um, Reading and writing every day definitely helps that out. Um, so I'll start this log off by some random notes that I've taken in here and I've written down here in Obsidian. So that's actually another one of the benefits of the analog note taking is that um, I'm able to write things down and kind of iterate more later down the line and throw them into maybe like a vlog or my notes. But these are the most important notes that I've written down, transcribed into a log. Number one is that I think that large language models are one of the greatest inventions of all time, but for unexpected reasons. And I'm like most people would think, oh, large language models are awesome because they help me code or they help me write my emails, stuff like that. But I think they're really good for education and abstraction of esoteric subjects, demystifying esoteric subjects. Really great use case for large language models. If something super complicated, like what's geometric bounding in motion, you'd be able to ask the large language model that and explain it like I'm five, and there you go. You'd be able to do it. You have a basic overview of what geometric bounding in motion is. Um, and that's another thing is that large language models are good at, you're able to prompt them to your own preference. So if you value conciseness like me, you'd be able to prompt the large language model, say, explain this concisely. And in a few sentences, it'd explain it to you. Um, and actually, the CEO of Obsidian, Steph Ango, I think is how you pronounce her name, wrote an essay about this called Concise Explanations Accelerate Progress. And the thesis of their essay is that if you want to progress faster, just write concise explanations so that they can be remixed, reworked, or built upon. And same thing goes with large language models. If you ask the language model to write a concise explanation, you'd be able to understand the idea quicker. And the quicker you understand it, the quicker you can build upon it. And concise explanations make ideas useful. Like if you're brainstorming ideas with a large language model, you can, with concise explanations, you have a better foundation to kind of build on. And that goes for anything. Um, so you can kind of mold your ideas or the ideas that you're brainstorming with a large language model into your own when they're concise. You can access more information and work along with it, which is super cool. It feels like a Jarvis moment, like you're Tony Stark working with Jarvis. I remember watching that movie and thinking, man, that would be so awesome if I had an AI like by my side, able to explain anything, or help me work with anything. And you can kind of do that nowadays. So if you're a huge nerd like me, we're winning basically. um, but also, back in the past, it was really hard to obtain information, and you basically had to know personally, like the smart person in the village or the smarter person in the country, and go find them and learn from them. And literature was not as easily accessible. So nobody had grand access to all the information sources as easily as we do now, which made back then being educated in a subject far more valuable. You can kind of get away with only being educated in one thing, like masonry or something, or science. But now the internet has been far more developed, and information and knowledge is not as widely available, or is now widely available. So things like Google, Wikipedia, and Amazon basically gives you any book you could ever want. And this has been accelerated even further by large language models. Basically, walking, talking books, interactable encyclopedias. You can ask it anything and prompt it to the way that you want to learn it. So, in our advanced 21st century, the best skill is to be able to actively seek out knowledge and be adaptable. So, you basically need to be an autodidact, somebody who is self taught. And to be self taught, you need to be passionate about learning, especially in a time where technology like phones and apps within your phones have algorithms that are specifically designed to keep you distracted and to keep you like locked in on things that just aren't really that valuable. It's more important to be able to differentiate yourself from the pack and to be able to like read actual books and write stuff down and to be an autodidact, to learn more and be self-taught. And I'm not saying like phones and apps are like this huge bad thing. They're not inherently bad. I mean, just like anything, it's important to keep it in moderation. Anything in excess is bad, but I'm just saying that those things are designed to literally keep you distracted. So you you basically just gotta like remember that that kind of stuff isn't always the best. So me limiting my social media use has definitely increased my learning substantially. Um, and if you want to learn anything quicker, if you want to accomplish your goals quicker, if you want to be flexible, you need to beware the temptation to cheat yourself and to study or learn things in a shallow way. So you need to know when like, are these notes that I'm writing down, are they really helping me out, or am I just writing them because that's the way that I was taught? Like, you need to know when it's time to dive deeper. Like, am I really learning about math when I'm learning what's one plus one? Like, you probably would need to go into algebra or more advanced calculus. Like, and you need to keep going deeper. You can't just get like be stuck on the easy stuff because it's easy. You need to know to go harder. Um, you basically need to learn how to learn. Um, it's just like weightlifting. You need to train your memory to be in shape, and you need to know what techniques works best for you. My personal favorites, ranked in order from best to worst. Number one is the Feynman technique, which is you basically explaining a topic to another person. And by you explaining the topic to another person, you kind of are learning more about the topic itself. This is my personally favorite one. You can always get a person, but you can get a person, or you can just explain it to like a YouTube video or a log like I'm doing now. But this is the best one, in my opinion. Works best for me. Everyone's different. Number two is mind maps. And actually, I can share my screen real quick and show you an example of a mind map real quick. Let me show you real quick. Cool. So, this is an example of a mind map I made for my recent project. I needed to learn HTTP and core web concepts. So, I was able to map everything here. This is like a web workflow. And HTTP methods and what an opponent means, which is basically you can kind of turn a light switch on, but you can't really keep pressing on if it's already on. It just doesn't get sent. It's a good example. What get, post, put, and delete mean. and how those are all simple requests. And if a cross-origin request qualifies as simple, the browser will send the actual request directly. Things like that, right? And what pre-flighted requests are, and how those are both part of CORS. And what CORS is basically single-page applications, microservice architectures, public APIs. Those are all scenarios that where CORS are important. And also what status codes are, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is probably the most useful one that I've learned so far. But this is all get maps together, and while this isn't as good as the Feynman technique for me in personally learning things, it's definitely really good for abstraction. Like, this is all really complicated. I wouldn't be able to learn it in just one note, but mapping everything together like this is definitely useful for me. Moving on to the next point in my note, which is spaced repetition. That is the third and kind of least effective, but still effective method in my notes. That's basically just reviewing your notes every once in a while. There's a timed technique to it, but I personally don't really do that. I think it doesn't really matter. So I just reviewing every once in a while when you feel you need it. But basically, you need to pick like one or two of your best methods and just dedicate yourself to building up your best techniques, getting them locked down and correctly, and get it into procedural memory so that it's automatic. You basically do it without even thinking, or it's like just super easy. It comes naturally. You also need to study things that you're passionate about. It increases motivation tenfold with minimal effort. And if you're not passionate about it, then try adding the so that to whatever statement that you're trying to learn really helps you out. So let's say that you say, oh, I want to learn Python. If you add so that, it can make it more substantial by saying, I want to learn Python so that I can pursue software engineering as a job, so that I can make more money, so that I can buy a C6 Corvette and be a baller. Just an example. Adding so that makes things way easier for you to be passionate about it. You also need to learn how to find flaws in anything and be open to changing yourself, being able to identify that you yourself are flawed. So if you gamify the finding of flaws, not only will you have more fun finding them, but you'll also teach yourself the nature of what it means to be flawed in the first place. Especially like I was saying before, now where information is so readily available, one of the downsides of that is that more information can be more flawed, if that makes sense. Like an article that someone writes isn't always going to be correct, or a Wikipedia article might be incorrectly edited, or let's say a YouTube video or a book that you're reading, maybe the author isn't completely right. Some of the books that I'm reading, like, I would agree with like about 70% of it, but then there's like that 30% that I'm like, what are they talking about right now? Like the world doesn't work that way, author. But that's the way they think. And I feel like if you go into books instead of expecting like, oh wow, I didn't know the world was like that, you need to be able to look at the book and say, is the world really working like that? Like, how can I identify that? How can I find the flaw in that? Right? Super valuable skill. Another really valuable skill is the skill of planning. So planning is a skill, especially because the future is unknown. So you being flexible to change and being able to modify, or draft new plans is crucial because things change, especially now with AI and stuff. The job market super shaky. You being able to be an autodidact and learn new things, being flexible to change, and being able to modify your life, being able to find new novel ideas and apply them instead of just having a rigid structure, being able to branch out, be adaptable, change your plan. Such a valuable skill to learn. If there's anything that you take away from this video, it is that you need to want to learn and you need to be flexible and be really good at planning. Those are the three things I would ask you to take away from this video. The book that I'm reading right now, Why Greatness Cannot Be Planned, I'm not done with it, but it's super shocking. And I'll probably in my next vlog give you a full breakdown of it. I'm still trying to grapple with it right now, but the book agrees with me that those three are the most important things you could take away from this video. Last but not least, the healthier that your physical body is, the healthier your mind will be. Mind-body connection is a real thing, you guys. I used to think, like, be super skeptical, like, oh yeah, whatever, dude, like, but it's real, okay? It's real. Just take my word for it. If you make sure you're just eating the right stuff, if you're doing some sort of exercise, you don't have to be going crazy in the gym, but like going out on walks, like getting out of the house, getting out of your room, it is such a valuable thing, you guys. You have no idea. At least for me, like I need to be active in some way in order for my brain to be able to like function at high capacity at all times. Um, Weight training for me, I feel like, is a super crucial one because I just need to get that. I just need to get destimulated. I need to work real hard and just be done with it. And I go on walks a lot when I'm thinking on a hard subject. It works, okay? The healthier your physical body is, the healthier your mind will be. Um, that's all I got for today's video, you guys. Thanks for tuning in to log number 2, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.